Greetings and welcome back to another episode of Heaven on Wheels. Today's episode will be longer than my normal minute and a half, so thank you in advance for your patience. I have much more to say. Today's episode comes from a different position. On my knee, the same place where George Floyd lost his life. My family and friends have asked me to respond to this, and you may wonder why. Well, we had much in common. We were both from the same area, 3rd Ward. We both attended the same school, JY. We both shared the same football field, basketball court, the same hallways, the same classrooms, the same cafeteria. We both shared the same history and legacy. And we also both shared the same color. And my family and friends understood that if I had been in the wrong place at the wrong time, I could have shared the same exact fate that they did and that he did and so many others. So that has been their concern. So for the past week and a half, or since this happened, I've been numb. But what has come to mind for me is two people, Jesus Christ and Colin Kaepernick. One ancient time and one modern time. The person from ancient time started his life with humility. He left his place of royalty in heaven, and he humbled himself and came down to earth as a man. He died a violent life for humanity. The second, he took the position and posture that I have right now in a form of protest, Colin Kaepernick. And in that position, he impacted the whole world. So Jesus only lived in a span of 100-mile radius in his lifetime, in his 3-year ministry. And in that period, he affected the entire world, all 7 continents, only by being an impact on his local environment, his community. Colin Kaepernick, with an act of nonviolence by taking a knee, he impacted his local community for him, which was the NFL. And he affected the entire world. So you ask the question, well, what can I do? Well, what I would say is before you can impact the world, you first have to impact your local community. And that starts with humility and service. God said, how can you love me that you can't see if you can't love your brother who you can see? So I would encourage you first and foremost, impact your local community. And secondly, I start each one of my days in this position on my knee or on my face. And the second thing I would say is start your day in that position, on a knee or on your face, in humility to a power that is greater than you. And I believe if you do that, if you seek God first, I believe you will touch your community, which can then touch the world. Jesus said the poor will always be with us, and I believe the violent will always be with us. Unfortunately, I don't believe this will be the last time we'll experience this from a black man. But what we can do to help our community is we can start each day on our face, and we can ask God to give us the grace and the commission and the purpose for our lives for that particular day. As I conclude, I want to hold up a Bible, which has been a form of controversy since the president came out and he held up his Bible. He didn't say anything and no one knew what that meant. Well, this book was written over 3,500 years ago by men who were divinely inspired by God. And what that means is, that means they call it the Word of God because it is His Word. The purpose of the book, information, revelation, and inspiration. So the words are divinely inspired, and the words are God's prophecy about times to come and the way this world will end. And in the ending of this book, because this is a book of good and evil, the good will prevail. Thank you for listening today. My prayers and blessings go out to the families, not just of George Floyd, but all of our brothers and sisters who have lost their lives to violence, not just from police violence, but all violence, and to all bereaved families. I hope you'll start your day by submitting to the authority that is greater than us all. I hope you'll be encouraged. Prayers and blessings to you and your family. And remember, in all of your getting, get understanding.